Sawete, y'all. This is Magister Hodges. I'm just gonna help y'all get started into chapter 6 here. Coming back, there's some pretty complex sentences that might trip you up when trying to read through in the next chapter. So I'm gonna try to give y'all a couple ways to help break them down here on using the first few pages. So I started here, chapter 6, told from the point of view of our boy Gnaeus, the senator, who is envious of Incitatus and all of that. So we start here just to help break things down grammatically. First thing I want y'all to do is when you see a page is read through it, like read over it, looking just for words that you're not sure of the meaning, like that you may have never seen before or may not remember, and just kind of take note of those. And then we'll need to establish meaning on all that and take note of those. And then we start to try and read. Try and read it over to see what you can get just on your own. Per Romam ambulabam et domum magnum equi incitati intravi. First sentence, walking, entering, walking through Rome, entering house, big house, equi incitati, possessive, the horse's house. So I was walking through Rome and I entered the big house of the horse Incitatus. That's basically what this says. But when you start, as you start getting to more complex text that you may not be able to read naturally, just reading across and putting it together, there are a couple steps you can do once you start trying to manage all the endings and whatnot. So we want to remember the engine of every sentence is a verb. So first thing we want to do is find the verbs. What I went through, I highlighted here: ambulabam, intravi, invideo, invideo. Then you want to figure out who's doing it. And all of these, invideo ends with an O. That's a present tense, first person singular. So I know that's I. I'm the one doing the envying. We have intravi here, which is perfect tense, perfect past tense. It ends with an I, which is the first person singular in the perfect tense. I entered. And then ambulabam, bomb being the first person singular, ending of the imperfect tense. I was walking. So we know the subject for all these sentences is I. Then we need to start figuring out who it's happening to, right? So per Romam ambulabam. I was walking through Rome. Well, there's no real direct object there. There's nothing for it to receive, just saying I am walking. So I'm going to switch to blue here. We're going to be looking for things in the accusative case or in the case of the verb invideo, dative case. But I see here domum magnum. Okay, tells us I entered the big house. And I know these are accusative because they both end with M, and respectively. The big house. Sine dubio is that little phrase we've seen a lot, means without a doubt. Domus maior est quam mea. Ooh, I missed a verb there earlier. So we have est. Well, est is a third person singular. So we need to figure out who is here. Well, without a doubt, domus maior. Domus ends with the US. That's nominative. So we know this here is our subject. So I'm going to highlight that in yellow as well. So the house is maior quam mea. Well, this is an adjective. It's bigger than. Maior means bigger. Quam. So domus maiores. The house is bigger. Quam mea. So we see that quam there. And that's going to introduce that little, than statement when you're, So anyway, let's click out of this, go over here to quam mea. I'm going to highlight those types of phrases in pink. Whenever you're saying bigger than what? Bigger than mine, bigger than my house. I envy the horse. Well, the horse is there receiving the action. The word invideo is weird. If you are really familiar with the endings and the cases and whatnot, invideo is a verb that takes the dative case as its direct object. So that's why that ends with an O, but it means I envy the horse. Why that happens, not totally sure. Sometimes it's what people call compound verbs, like we have the word in compounded onto the front of video, which means like to look in or to look on, which is kind of where we get the root of the word envy. It's like, if you envy something, you're looking into it, you're looking on it, you like really want it. You're, I guess. Anyway, wouldn't worry too much about that. This is the only verb in this book, I believe, that really does this. So invideo, equo, I envy the horse. We see here invideo, we also see the word ego to mean I. That's the subject. It's not necessary there, but he's emphasizing it. I, a Roman senator, envy this horse. Okay, so this first page isn't too complex. Just has a couple things, but it's really this next page where things get a little harder. So let's start by looking for the verbs here. See if you can find them. I'm going to go ahead and highlight habet, invideo, amat, dat. And I'll just keep going down. Sum. Here we go. We got a verb phrase right here. Dare possum. Oops. Dare est custodire non gestiunt. Okay, we'll just start with these two paragraphs right here. Okay, so in these sentences with the habet, we see the T ending, so we know it's third person singular. We need to find something that is nominative in here that to rename the subject. If it ends with a T, the subject can be he, she, or it, or whatever nominative singular name there is or word there is in here. So we see the word equus over here. We know that's nominative singular because it ends with the US. Plura ornamenta habet quam ego. No, there's no third person singular. There's no nominative singular here. Plura ornamenta, that's a plural, and it's neuter, so it could be nominative or accusative, but since habet ends with a T, we know that that's just a direct object there. We see invideo, so we know the subject is I, and we don't see the word ego. We don't need to find it. Quod imperator equum magis quam me amat. So we see amat, that ends with a T. We need to find a nominative singular, and that's going to be imperator up here. Okay. And we see dot ends with a T, but here we don't see anything with a nominative singular ending. We don't see an A, we don't see a US, we don't see any third declension word in its nominative form. Okay, so I'm going to work on finishing up this top paragraph first. So I'm going to switch to blue for our direct objects, things receiving the action. So we know the horse has, see, plures servos. Well, we see the OS and the ES, those are accusative plural endings. So he has plures servos. And then we see that quam ego, which we were using pink for earlier, because that means than I. Okay. So this first sentence comes out to be, the horse has more servants, quam ego, than I do. Okay, now let's keep going down. Plura ornamenta habet, quam ego. Well, we see that quam ego there, pink. Quam me. So whenever you see that word quam and some pronoun after it, then that's we're gonna go ahead and highlight those pink. Let's see if I can find any more down here. No qualms down here. Okay, so let's get back to our blue. Let's find some more accusatives or direct objects. So like I said, plura ornamenta. We know since that's neuter, a can be a neuter accusative plural ending. Sine dubio, without a doubt. We see invideo. Well, there we go. We got our incitato there. Remember we said dative can be the object for the word invideo. Okay. The emperor loves, well, we see this, equum. Okay, that's accusative. He loves the horse, magis quam me, more than me, more than he loves me, basically. So it's kind of like the word plus, meaning more as in number, but this is like more as in, you can't say he gives the horse 3 loves, or I get 1 love and he gets 3 loves, right? It's not a counting thing. It's just like a volume thing. That's when we use magis. So magis means more when you're talking about like volume, and plus or plures means more when you're talking about, numbers, counting. Okay, dot, I see potestatum et auctoritatem, those em endings, those are accusatives. So we know that's accusative. We know that's doing the receiving the action. Then we have magnas here, which is also accusative. This means great, and that's plural. And you notice these two are singular, but this is plural because it's modifying both, and 2 things come out to be plural. So he gives, and then equo here is a dative, but it's being used as an indirect object. It's going to be, let's see, what should we use for that? Let's use this like purple here. Equo. Okay. He gives to the horse power and authority great, or he gives great power and authority to the horse. Okay. All right. So let's break. Now that we've kind of broken this sentence up, let's see if we can figure out this, use that to make sense of this little more complex paragraph here. The horse has more servants than I do. He has more jewelry, more ornaments than I do. Sine dubio, without a doubt, I envy Incitatus, quote, because the emperor loves the horse more than me. He gives great power and authority, equo, to the horse. Okay. Now we have these sentences here. We have the word sum, which means I am. We see that a lot. And, when you're using some form of sum or est, there is no action to receive. So there's no accusatives here. That's why everything is nominative. I am not rich. I am a senator. And we have parvi momenti. That's actually genitive. Means like of blank blank, right? So I'm going to make those like a green. I am a senator of little importance. Because I am a senator, so it's just matching. Because I'm what? Because I'm a senator. We have possum dare. Possum, if hopefully you remember, this comes from the word potest or posse, which means to be able. The ending is just the word sum, which means I am. Possum means I am able. I am able to give. Pauca, defined at the bottom here. I am able to give a little. That ends with an A. That is neuter, plural, accusative ending. So we know that is that's accusative, and this is accusative, and this is where things start to get pretty complex because we got ourselves a participle here, we got ourselves a dative here. So these are datives because the is ending. 2 or 4 the slaves, custodientibus, guarding. Custodire means to guard. Now we're making it into an adjective meaning guarding. You can tell it's that intibus ending right there. We'll talk about that more in a minute. Then we have a different type of sentence here, which is a little, which you see a lot, but hopefully you may not remember. Non necesse est mihi multa servis dare. This literally means not necessary, it is for me, or it is not necessary for me. Or you could say in better English or simpler English, I don't need. It is not necessary for me to give multa servis. So servis here, dative to the servants, mihi, for me. Necesse is just an adverb. It is not necessary for me to give. And then multa. Oops. There you go. That's once again neuter accusative plural ending, multa. Servi equum custodire non gestiunt. So we see unt is the ending. We know the subject could be they, but we also see a nominative plural servi here. So we know the subject are the servants. And then equum, that's accusative, um. So that's receiving the action. Okay, so we see dives non sum. I am not rich. I am a senator of little importance. Because I am a senator, I am able to give a little to the servants. Equum custodientibus, participle phrase. I am able to give a little to the servants guarding the horse. It's kind of how this is working. So why do we know the servants are the ones guarding? Well, custodientibus, that ending is dative plural. Servis, that ending is dative plural. So we know because of that, this adjective is describing the servants. We know it means guarding because of the root here, custodi, right? Means guard. We see it down here, to guard. And then that intibus ending is that participle ending we were talking about, like custodians, guarding, and whatnot. Equum is a direct object here, and we're saying I'm able to give a little to the slaves guarding. Well, what are they guarding? They're guarding the horse. And here, horse is accusative because it's receiving the action of guarding. And that's what's called a participle phrase. So you could just say the slaves guarding, to the slaves guarding, servis custodientibus. But if you wanted to say what they were guarding, then you just slap equum onto it. Non necesse est mihi, it is not necessary for me, dare, to give, multa servis, much to the servants. Servi equum custodire non gestiunt. The servants do not really want custodire, to guard, equum, the horse. Go down here too and try out this next one. So let's start by looking for our verbs. Volo, videre et audire, spectare volt, quod victor est, imperator me victorum esse volt. Okay. So we got some verb phrases here. We got volo, videre et audire, spectare volt, est, and esse volt. So volo, that ends with O. We know that means I want. Oh, and we also have inquam here, which just that irregular verb means I say. I want. We got videre et audire. We see the ere and ire. So that means to blank, to see and to hear. Spectare volt. We know volt, that ends with a T. So that means the subject is he, she, or it, or a nominative singular noun, which we see right here, imperator. So the emperor wants spectare, to watch, ends with the ra. He wants to watch something. Est, he, she, or it is, or it is. There's no, victor is nominative singular, but we're saying it is the victor, or he is the victor. We'll figure that out in a minute. And then we have esse volt. Well, volt means he wants, or in this case, imperator, the emperor wants to be. So volt esse wants to be. Okay. Now let's go around and see if we can find us some accusatives that are receiving these actions. I see fortunatum equum ends with a um. Oh, and incitatum goes with it. That all goes together. Okay. Me is the accusative pronoun for ego. Equum. Okay. And victorem and me as well. Okay. So, and that comprises most of this. These are just very simple subject, verb, or subject, verb, direct object statements. I said, to see and to hear the fortunate horse Incitatus. The emperor wants to watch me horse. Let's see if we can put that together. The emperor wants me to watch the horse. Now, this is where things get kind of weird. You have two kind of things going on in this sentence. And you notice this is something Romans do a good bit, and this is where the word order not being standard makes things a little tricky. So you just got to be patient with yourself and work with it. One thing that Romans do a lot is they like to sandwich, like if you have multiple sentences going on within, or multiple ideas going on within a sentence, they kind of sandwich it. So you have the imperator at the beginning and volt at the end. The emperor wants. And then you see it kind of goes, now we go to like the next layer down. The emperor wants, then move one more in. Me, spectate, to watch. And then in the middle, we have the horse. So it's kind of like you go from the beginning to the end, and then the second layer down to the second to last layer, and then you kind of meet in the middle. It's a very weird way. It's very weird to us English speakers for sure. Anyway, the emperor wants me to watch the horse because victor est. He is a winner. I'm guessing so. Est here is referring to the horse because he is a winner. Period. Imperator me victorem esse volt. So once again, we have two kind of ideas going on here, and you see it's going to be structured the same way. Start at the first word, look at the last word, look at the second word, look at the second to last word, and be in the middle. The emperor wants me to be a winner. Okay. And I'll do this one more time here. You're free to, if you feel like you got it, you're free to hop off. Yeah, hope this is helpful. So we're going to start by looking. Step 1, verbs. Intro, dormit, sunt. Capere non possum. Capere non possum. Oh, and time up.
Right. Oh, it is?
I'm going to finish this up real quick. You'll hear Mrs. Hodges in the background on the phone. Okay. Let's see. Si capiam. Necet.
You know what? Maybe that's what's wrong.
Necade gestiet.
ever knew about it. Don't do
Placet.
laundry on New Year's Day, Justin.
I will not. I won't say I'm recording
It's
something.
like, what? I don't do it anyway. I hadn't planned on it.
Edit.
Okay, well, he's
S.
recording something, so.
Edit.
Yeah, just let me know when you want to pop by.
Hot back.
I'm here.
Okay.
The only plan
There are all of our verbs. We know this is I, Incitatus.
Outlet mall, so I could get some new sunglasses.
Okay.
I don't have any. And I need them badly. So that is my plan.
Okay. Neket ends with a T, so we see here our subject, Caligula. Subject or verb, it ends with a T, but there is no nominative pronoun here, so there isn't a subject. We just know it's going to be he, she, or it. It's probably going to be Caligula. Let's see. Oh, got another verb right here, necare, to kill. All right. In domo magna estercus incitati. Okay. So let's go. Let's find us some direct objects here. Domum ends with a um. Vestimenta purpurea. Ornamenta. Vestimenta et ornamenta. Me. Viros. We'll deal with this whole sentence here in a second. In doma magna estercus incitati. Oh, wait. Oops. Wrong. That should be.
Go and get the caulking stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I gotta run this laundry.
Okay.
Take a shower. I don't know where Mom and Dad are.
All right. So let's find some more accusatives. Arum. Quibum aureum. All right. So start with our yellow and then go to our blue. I enter the house and Incitatus is asleep. There are clothes and jewelry. Non possum, I am not able, capere, to capture, vestimenta purpurea, the purple clothes. I am not able to take the purple clothes. Ornamenta capere non possum. The jewelry to take, I am not able, or I am not able to take the jewelry. And then these two, si capiam and necet, are defined at the bottom. Si capiam, if I take the clothes and the jewelry. Caligula, necet, will kill me. He would really want necare to kill me. Quod. Now, remember, we have this word here, placet, which means to be pleasing. It's what we use to say like. That's why we say, instead of saying ego placeo to mean I like, we say mihi placet. It is pleasing to me. So the subject of the sentence, we want to say it is pleasing. We need to figure out who likes whatever's going on. We need to find something dative. And that's going to act as our subject. So that is insano imperatore. Those are both dative endings. It is pleasing to the insane emperor. Valdissime, it is very pleasing to the insane emperor to kill weirdos, men. He really likes killing people. In the big house, there is stercus incitati. Incitatus's poop. Very cool story. Incitatus arum incibo edit. Incitatus eats gold in his food. Which you remember from last chapter when they're at the dinner. We know that Caligula puts gold in there because he's a winner, by God. And now there is gold in his poop. Edits, he eats golden food, and now he has gold. He has golden. Oh, whoops. That should be stercus aureum. Now he has golden poop. Now, stercus still ends with the US because it's actually fourth declension, and that is something that maybe you have covered before you've watched this video, or you didn't touch the fourth declension thing yet. There's a lot of US's going on in there. So make sure to check that out. So anyway, that's where, as you can see, Gnaeus is having a real one right now. He is breaking into Incitatus's house to try and take something, We don't know quite what yet, but he is focusing a lot on the poop for sure. Actually, if you're just kind of scanning over this page, you see Capio, I take. What do I take? Aureum Stercus. This chapter ends with him just stealing some golden poop because Roman senators are very, very weird people, especially when they're put in weird situations. Hopefully, you found this helpful. If it felt overwhelming, there's just too much going on. That is okay. It's a lot to process. We're going to read and reread this part a little bit just to kind of get this down. Anywho, I hope you all have a lovely day. Welcome back, and Walete.